Alright, Vol here again. We're going to take another look at StarCraft 2 the beta. It's going to be Ret versus Infernal for the Game 3 of Liquibition. Ret being 2-0 up in the series, having built roaches both games, and Infernal finding no answer to that strategy. Although, I mean, it's not really about that. I mean, if you go and watch the proper cast for this, you'll see that the game's a little bit more dynamic than that. In the first game, we saw Infernal go for a Dark Templar rush, which failed because Ret was able to actually block him and get an Overseer up in time. And in the second game, just to summarize, Ret went for a fast expansion, fended off with some Zealots, and ticked up the Colossus, and then his Colossus got murdered by Corruptors, and of course the Roaches decimated his army. So that's really the synopsis of what's happened 2 games in a row so far. Ret going for exactly the same build again, as far as I can see. I haven't really noticed anything too different there. Going for his pull first, then expansion. Looks like Infernal's going for 2 gateways because his build previous game seemed to have done a little bit better than the first game that he did, which didn't feature an expansion. At least the game lasted longer last time. He had more of an opportunity to think of a way to beat those roaches. So we'll see what happens. As you can see, Ret has scouted in the right direction with his Overlord. He sees that double gate. He knows that he just needs some Zerglings to actually stop those Zealots, and then just roach his way to victory. Or, as the case may be, he may need something else. We'll find out. Anyway, Zealot's going out, and I do like the fact that Infernal has picked green as his colour, because this is a custom game, and of course it's StarCraft 2, which unfortunately, unlike StarCraft 1, you actually get to pick your colours, which is cool, and I don't know why I said unfortunately then, because I love that. I mean, I love the fact you can actually pick your colour. It's awesome, custom games. Going for a quick pylon here, and instead of just moving his Zealots up to attack, Infernal's not going to even bother wasting the Zealots this time. He's just going to put up his expansion there and wait for the Zerglings to come to him. He might have a better chance at this. Roach Warren up already, predictably, and not bothering to skip roaches or anything like that. Needs roaches to win. Maybe he doesn't. Roaches might be the simplest way of doing it. And Zerglings seem to have been doing a lot of damage here to these Zealots. In the meantime, 2 Zealots in Ret's base actually doing some damage. I don't know how he snuck those in, but that's going to be really annoying. In the meantime, Infernal under pressure here from these Zealots, but he should be able to clean them up quite nicely. In the meantime, his Zealots back here doing a ton of damage, well, in the position to do a lot of damage. At the moment, they're fighting against the Queen, and Ret actually going for the probes now, but the probes will easily destroy them. In the meantime, Forge going up to protect his expansion, and Zergling's hanging out there. Fortunately managing to destroy these Zealots now that his Roaches are up with the Queen assisting there. So a nice little bit of a micro fight. At least the game's been semi-interesting so far. And as soon as the Zealots show up, they're going to kill those Zerglings. And there are the Proton Cannons. Unfortunately, the Protoss player forced to put cannons down before Nexus, just because those Roaches will easily just come in and mop up those Zealots if there are no cannons there, which is just unfortunate for the Protoss player. But that's the way it is in StarCraft 2. Have to put some static defense down against those Roaches. It's the same with Terran. If you don't have something to protect your choke, like tanks or bunkers or something useful, or maybe just a concave of Marines behind, the wall with mortars or something like that. There's the Nexus finally. He's a bit late in terms of economy, but with a lot of probes, he should be able to catch up. With that chrono boost going and just monumentally speeding up the probes back at his main base, he should be able to have a lot of them to transfer across, so that's good. At least that's working for him. In the meantime, Ret spawning a lot of larvae with his Queen. Going to have a pretty decent drone count. And of course, upgrading to Lair by the looks. He's got pretty good visibility with his Overlords, just for seeing what Infernal's up to. Actually, no, he doesn't. He doesn't have an Overlord in the heart of Infernal space, so we won't really be able to see what's coming for him. And really interested to see what Infernal's going to pull this game, because he needs to try something different. The last 2 games have not worked for him. He hasn't really tried anything completely straight up, except for last game looked a bit more straightforward, just given the fact that he'd got an expansion up in a fairly roundabout way, and he'd gone for Colossus. Maybe he shouldn't build as many Colossus this time. Scouting in with a probe, this is nice by Infernal. Actually get to see what Ret is up to, but the problem is that Ret is up to exactly what we all thought he'd be up to, building roaches with a Queen, expanding with drones with larvae, I should say, producing more larvae with his Queen, and that's it. That's all he's up to. Infernal now amassing a lot of Zealots. Wonder what he'll be doing here. Will he upgrade the Zealots? Will he add some more units to that mix? I've got a double gas going down. Evolution Chamber there ready to upgrade that +1 damage to Roaches. Quite important. If you can get that earlier on, it's going to make a big difference. And that is up now. Looks like we've got some upgrades happening. The Roach upgrade going on. That'll be useful. Increasing the regeneration rate. Very important for Roaches. And there you have it. He's got about 10 of them now. Just waiting for Infernal to come up with some plan. Robotics Facility. So that could mean more Colossus. It could mean Immortals. And I'd like to see Immortals here because they seem like a better unit against Roaches. That forces the Zerg player to add in to Zerglings to the mix. That horrible, difficult thing to do, which is making more Zerglings. I don't know, guys. Oh, hey, check this out. Rhett is actually building a hatchery over at the 9 o'clock position, which is the yellow mineral field. So that's what you want to do in this sort of situation as Zerg. You know your opponent's contained. You know that if he moves out, you're just going to crush him with your Roach army. So just may as well get the one base. It's only 300 mils for another hatchery. You can afford to do that with your marginal lead at the moment. And that marginal lead will soon turn into a massive lead if you've taken a yellow mineral spot and your opponent hasn't. So that's going to be big on tech. He's going to actually get his units really cranking up later on. Unfortunately, Overlord being popped there by the sentries. That's kind of annoying, but at least Rhett got to see a little bit of Infernal space, see what's going on there, transferring some Drovers across, and upgrading +1 weapons. So things looking good for Rhett. Again, the game is a standoff. There's no harassment going on. Both players just building up their armies, as we've seen the last couple of games. And what have we got here? We've got mainly Zealots. We've got two robotics support bays, actually. 2 robotics facilities, rather. Not support bays, robotics facilities. We should mention, I've got an Overseer just in case any sneaky Dark Templar show up. And here we go. He's gone for Immortals, as I suggested that he might, with Sentries back up. No Stalkers, I think that's good. Stalkers are a terrible unit against Roaches. So we'll see how this goes. He's even got a Observer into red space, but of course the Overseer spot sets the Queen to easily take it down. Yeah, things looking alright, and I'm just really quite keen to see how these Immortals do. I guess he's just waiting for 2 more of them, and maybe he'll push out, maybe he'll wait a bit longer, but we'll see a bit of a fight concerning the Roaches versus Immortals. I'm really quite keen to see how they do. Personally, I think that Rhett should be able to easily mop up the Zealots with his Roaches, and then move some Zerglings around to kill the Immortals and win the game. So we'll see how that goes with my little prediction there, and it should be interesting. Just waiting for any sign of action. A lot of Overlords in the air, a lot of blimps, hot air balloons, and the longer Infernal waits, the more time Rhett's going to get resources out of that yellow yield expansion, yellow minerals, and produce more Zealots. So, not Zealots, more Roaches. So, a bit of a big army here. He's got upgrades going, +1 weapons by the looks. +1 weapons is done. He's going for +1 armor. He's adding some Stalkers to the mix just to help out with maybe any air units which are made. Maybe he's worried about Mutalisks or something like that. Who knows? But another hatchery being added here for Rhett. As you can see, the StarCraft 2 pathing is quite good. As you can just move through the gaps like that really nicely. Good stuff. And that expansion looks to be in full swing. He's got another 2 gas there. As you can see, his gas is quite low on his actual count at the top. But it looks like Rhett is about to face Infernal's wrath here. He's got lots of Immortals. Really nice Immortal count there. So he's going to need quite a few more Zerglings than that to stop him. And moving in now. And unfortunately, this attack pathing is really badly because the Roaches kind of should get in here. Unfortunately, Rhett taking massive casualties. And this is, guys, that bubble from the sentry is just stopping all the attacks coming through. And Rhett's army getting decimated here. Of course, the Zealots wiped out straight away from the Roaches, but the Immortals were protected by the Zealots momentarily, and the Zerglings were taken out. So that was really good. So Stalkers there at the end of the day quite useful, killing those few Mutalisks and of course popping some Overlords as well. And there's the GG. So nicely played there by Infernal. Wasn't expecting that, and I guess the reason why that happened is because he didn't have enough Zerglings at the right time. He was pure Roaches, and he had a bad little micro fight there, being blocked by his own buildings and so forth, and getting killed. Probably should have pulled back and waited for more troops. But there you have it, a 1 win for Infernal. He is now only losing by 2-1.